Welcome to Cooking with Chris. Today we're doing beef hoagies. Come on in the kitchen, let's cook. So first we're gonna go ahead and get our hoagie sauce together. This sauce is mayonnaise based, but it's going to have a lot of different flavors to it that's gonna make it taste absolutely delicious. So to this hoagie sauce, we're gonna do half a cup of mayo, and you pick whatever mayo that is savory and delicious for you. This is not a sponsored video, so I'm not going to tell you who to use or what to use for your sauce. Next, we're going to do a tablespoon of ketchup. So we're going to do a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Next, we're going to do half teaspoon of garlic powder. And a half teaspoon of smoked paprika. And then we are going to do black pepper to taste. Now, depending on how you like your sauces and things that you make, black pepper is a taste to be acquired for your taste buds. So let that work for you. And then I'm going to add a tablespoon of sweet relish to this sauce. There you go. So then you just mix this up. And this will be your sauce for your hoagies. Put this in the fridge so everything can marinate together until it's time to use it. Next, I'm going to go ahead and cut up one green bell pepper and one medium-sized onion, and that will be the wonderful peppers and onions that you usually have on sandwiches. Now, I do want to preface by saying, please go ahead and wash and clean your vegetables before using them, which I did. I cleaned out the innards on the inside of the pepper, cut off the top, and also took the skin off and still washed the onion. So with the pepper, just gonna put this into fourths like I normally do. And this time, I'm not doing the chopper method because these are going on a sandwich. So I'm just going to what I believe is called julienne. You just cut that down just like this into strips. So just do that with all of your pepper pieces. And it's okay if they're not the same size. A pepper is different sizes at different angles. Just do some nice strips. It will all be okay. Everything will get into the pan and it will all get into your stomach. All right, so that's what your pepper should look like. And so now for the onion, the same thing. I'm going to cut it down the center. I'm going to cut the edge off, both sides. Put that there. And then just cut straight down. So when you cut it straight down and then you fan it out, you get the strips and the pieces just like that. Okay, I'm gonna add those to my little bowl. Ooh, this onion is pungent. All right. And so now your onions are ready to go. Onions and peppers. And last for my vegetables, don't want to forget one important thing, some tomatoes. Now, I go ahead and just cut the end off of the tomato, just like that. That to the side. And then just cut nice slices. Now, of course, if you don't like tomatoes, you can always omit this, because a tomato does not make or break the sandwich. All right, so now we have our nice medallions of tomatoes as well. We will add these to our bowl. Now, while I'm on the subject of talking about vegetables, go ahead and get some lettuce. You can do bagged lettuce, whatever it is, just make sure that it's shredded, so that way you can put that on the sandwich as well. Go ahead, wash it, clean it, chop it up, cut it up, however you do it, but just make sure that that's also something that you have for the end. And so there's the salad mix. I went ahead, washed it, cleaned it, and then put some paper towel in a bowl and just put that there, so that way all of that water can drain off and not be all up in your lettuce. Go ahead and put that to the side and go ahead and make the rest of our sandwich. So next, here's the star of the show, our ground beef. Go ahead and get you a pound of ground beef. Now we're going to start to season this. Now go ahead and add a teaspoon of onion powder. And you season to taste the way you like to season. Teaspoon of garlic powder. Teaspoon of smoked paprika. Teaspoon of seasoned salt. A half teaspoon of cayenne pepper. An Italian seasoning. For flavor, I'm going to do some fresh cracked pepper. That's also a teaspoon as well. Then a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. Now we're going to get in and just mix it. We're going to just use our hands and just mix this. Really, all we're doing is just massaging and getting all those flavors in. And just making sure that it's well mixed. And just like that, your beef is mixed. Now we'll go to start cooking. Now I went ahead and pulled out my good old cast iron pot. So go ahead and turn that onto medium-high heat. And then add a little bit of olive oil to the pan. And go ahead and add some red pepper flakes. And then add about a teaspoon of garlic. just adding a little more flavor. And we're just gonna let that season up. And then we will add our peppers and then the ground beef. And so now we see that garlic is starting to cook up a little bit, along with the red pepper flakes. So now that those have gotten nice, now it's time to add in our onions and our peppers. And we're just going to let that turn brown and cook up very nice. And what I'm going to do is just add a little butter for some flavor. Because you can't go wrong with butter. You can't go wrong when you're sauteing vegetables and adding a little butter. Now, for any of you out there who love onions and peppers, this smells amazing. What I'm going to do as well, just to add a little more flavor to my vegetables, I'm going to do a little sprinkle of salt, kind of draw out that liquid, and also some cracked black pepper. You definitely want those onions and peppers to have flavor as well. Right, and so we are just going to cook these down until they brown and get nice and wilted and soft, and those onions become caramelized, and then we'll be ready for the ground beef. Right, so my onions and peppers are getting to that close brown stage. What I'm going to do, I'm going to kick those to the side of the pan. Turn the heat down to about medium. Then I'm going to add a little more olive oil. And now it's time to turn that wonderful ground beef into the pan. And now we are going to start cooking this up. Don't forget to break it up. Don't forget to spread it out. Wow, and once that meat hits those different pieces in the pan and the heat, wow, it smells amazing. Every seasoning seems to wake up as soon as it hits that heat. I love seasoning my food. Those flavor profiles go on 1,000. And then we will be right back. So as you can see, the meat has nicely browned. Our vegetables are slowly cooking in the corner. And so the next thing I want to do is go ahead and drain a lot of that excess fat off of the meat, and then we'll come right back. And so now while the meat is cooking with those vegetables and kind of staying hot, I am going to go ahead and warm and toast up my rolls so that way they turn out delicious as well. I love a hot sandwich with a hot piece of bread. So on my skillet, heat up some butter. And then I'm just going to take my rolls and just place them face down to get a nice toast on them. And it only takes a few minutes for them to toast both sides, depending on what kind of stove you have. All right, and so about 45 seconds have gone by. I think that's enough for a nice char on the inside. Now we're going to just flip them and then give a little toast on the outside. And that's actually perfect. We're not making French toast. We're just kind of toasting the bread just to make sure that it's warm on both the front, top, and bottom. All right, so these rolls have been nicely toasted on both sides. Don't want to turn them brown or too dark, so just take them off right now and just add them to a slight cooling rack. Just make sure we get them off so that they do not burn. And they're just going to chill just like this. Now we're going to go back to the meat. So now here we have our meat. Our vegetables are well browned. We go ahead and mix all of that together. Now we're just marrying the vegetables with the meat. And when I tell you this smells so fragrant and absolutely delicious, it does. So the next part will be adding our cheese. Now we want to make sure that we heat our cheese very well. Now you do the cheese that you like. For my preference, I'm going to do Parmesan and mozzarella, because those are just the cheeses that I really do like together when I'm eating on a sandwich. You can do sharp cheddar, you can do provolone, you can do Monterey Jack, whatever you want. This is your sandwich. Make it your way and how you like it. So I'm just going to take my cheese and just sprinkle that all over the meat. And we're just going to let it melt. Don't touch it. Don't move it. Just let it sit there and just let it melt on top. As a matter of fact, I've seen a lot of professionals when they're doing their sandwiches like this, they add a top to it just so that cheese can get nice and steamy and very melty. So put a top on it and we'll let it melt. All right, so that cheese has gotten nice and melty. I can see it. As we see right there, you see how it's nice and melty. Now what we're gonna do is just kind of move it around just a little bit. Make sure everybody kind of gets a little taste of cheese in there. Turn that heat actually off, because now we are ready to assemble the sandwiches. This is exactly what we want right here. That cheese pull is just what I'm looking for. Just like that. So while we go ahead and prepare our bread and our lettuce and all of our other toppings, I'm going to leave the residual heat going for this and then put a top on it and then we'll come right back to it. So now it's time to go ahead and assemble these beef hoagies. So first thing you do is you take your nicely toasted bread. Then we're going to take that wonderful sauce that we created. We're going to place that on the bottom and the top. I mean, we spent all this time making the sauce. We might as well slather it up and make sure that it's well tasted. You know what I mean? You spend the time doing it, make sure people can taste what you've made. Next, we're going to take that wonderful cheesy beef with the pepper and the onion and the cheese of your choice. And we're just going to put that on the bottom. And make sure, if you're going to feed someone, make sure you feed them well. Make sure you put enough meat on the sandwich. Don't be stingy. It's enough meat, cheese, and beef to go around, I promise you. Now, I'm going to take your lettuce, place that on top, and we just want to dress it all the way across, okay? Next, take 2 pieces of tomato, right on the top, and then put that top on her. And this is ready to eat. This is good to go. See that right there? Delicious beef hoagie. Now, how I like to have my beef hoagies, or any sandwich for that matter, I tap some chips. And my chip of choice is the wonderful jalapeno kettle cooked chip. And there's your meal right there. Now that's good enough to eat. Today we made beef hoagies. Delicious seasoned beef with peppers and onions on a nice delicious hoagie roll with tomatoes, lettuce, and a delicious savory sauce that was made as well. Now, you know, I'm talking too much, so it's just time to cut into it and eat. All right. Look at that right there. Go ahead and try it. That's a good hoagie. It's really good, y'all. And of course, as usual, You better make the recipe because you can't have mine. So sorry.